Good morning, everybody. Take a deep breath. Exhale all our tension and just relax. Just be here and appreciate, rejoice that will reflect on the precious Dharma teachings. So before that, we'll say some prayers, what we call opening prayers. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, those great obstacles on my path to liberation on nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and superiorly established in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, those who create obstacles on my path to liberation on nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and superiorly established in the stage of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All Mother Sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, those who create obstacles to my path to liberation and on nations, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and superiorly established in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deed with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deed with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deed with the body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the kind and root lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities, the mandala of the Vedas. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the excellent Ornament. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the knowledge of all the other Sakinis and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in kind written lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities, the mandala of the Vedas. We take refuge in all exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharmas. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Takas, Sakinis, Dharma guardians, possessors of eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind written lineage lamas. We take refuge in the deities, the mandala of the Vedas. We take refuge in the all exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Takas, Sakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of eye of wisdom. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all Mother Sentient beings, boundless the sky, have happiness and causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that's free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Then page 11. Unequal refuge, ornament of the world. Your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I vow at the feet of Father Jigten Sungko. Continually I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, in your blessings. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I realize the unelaborated natural mind. Page 22. I pray to the glorious Lama, master of the four Bodhisattvas, crown jewel of entire Drikung Kagyu, leader of sentient beings, teacher of the ultimate path, Lord of compassion, region of the Buddha, peerless kindness, incomparable teacher, Vajragnara, heed my prayer, great Gampopa. I pray to you, look upon me with compassion, empower me with the blessing, the true attendants, bestow them now, spontaneously establish the true benefits, here bestow the fruit. Thank you. 다소 선자당자 로쇼선도와 진경로도서 저람도노와 진경로도서 람초우사와 진경로도서 저바의 쇼소 차원의 진경로도서 또바다 교도와 진경로도서 토기 신경도와 진경 된단로가와 진경로도서 도전도전도므로 진경로도 Now, we are studying the JOL ornament of liberation, the complete path towards the enlightenment. See, now time flies. This weekend is the last weekend to complete the JOL ornament of liberation study. There are 21 chapters to study, and now we have studied all the process of the path, how to start and what to be practiced, what to purify. All this we recognize step by step, and all things what to accomplished. So through those study, understanding, and then seeing the samsara as the nature of the suffering. So we have to achieve complete enlightenment. So achieving complete enlightenment there's no magic, like say, from here go somewhere, no idea where, how. Here is all designed step by step. Last Sunday we studied the 5 parts, how 5 parts go step by step, in a progressive way. Now today we've from this 5 parts more detail for the 10 bhumis, including the Buddhahood. So all these levels, how we progress step by step. So it's very, as you see, like going to school. You start from kindergarten, then you start elementary school, the high school, college, all these different years you spend time. Then you go to university, get PhD degree, so forth like that. So same thing here. Our spiritual journey is the mental journey. So study, practice. What you have studied, what you have understood, is saying you have to put into practice. If we don't practice, then we cannot progress. There's a the bear. There's a kind of the bristly bear. In the mountain. So they go around in the meadows. So sometimes they find a groundhog nest, so they dig. So they are maybe like a group of them. So that grizzly want to eat. But first they have to pick up one on one, then put underneath there, as a seed. So each you pick up and put underneath when that, kind of bend and then kind of run away, So the grizzly thinks, now I have a bunch of them, But at the end, only one in the hand. Like that we study, forget. Nothing left. It's empty-handed. So if you don't practice, that is what happens. Okay. So we have this weekend 3 days. So there are 3 chapters. First 2 are a little lengthy, so we have to kind of use the modern technology and go faster. So, chapter 19, the 10 bhumi, 10 bodhisattvas, 10 bodhisattva bhumi. Bodhisattva is the courageous mind. The courageous mind is built, created by the combination of the wisdom and compassion. And that such kind of mind is created, and that becomes such a powerful mind to make a battle with the cause of suffering. We need to defeat the cause of suffering. It's a very strong mind. If you don't have that kind of mind, then our afflictions are so strong. They are dominating. They dominate our whole being, and then we suffer helplessly. Not only suffer here helplessly, eventually will throw us in the hell realm. So because then at that moment, then we just cry. That much we can do. We just lament. And that's it. Then maybe we can blame somebody else. You made my life miserable. You are the one you have to take responsibility in my life. I'm here because of you. I go through all this because of you. So we say that much. There's no other way to get out of this. So real to free from these kind of suffering, confusion, mental afflictive emotions, like say ignorance, the tenacious attachment, the outrage, hatred, greed, pride, jealousy, so forth. As you know, none of these can purify by out of medicine, clothes, food, fame, wealth, but only by the Dharma. That's why Dharma is irreplaceable when you come to this kind of point. So that's why it's so precious. The mental afflictive emotions can only purify by the mind of the wisdom, no any other else. So that's what's called Bodhisattva. The courageous mind, not out of stupid, not out of ignorance, but out of wisdom, out of compassion. If we have this, then only we can breathe peace. Real kind of genuine kind of happiness. Real joy. Just there. Because the joy, happiness, peace is the flavor of the absence of these mental afflicting emotions. This is nothing to do with religion. It's the reality nature. Doesn't matter what you believe in a religion, culture, but that's dominated by universal. Isn't it? That's why we have to be very smart and courageous and go forward. It's called uncontrived. Try to bring out what does uncontrived mean. Unfabricated means. What's the mode of abiding of the whole phenomena? What's the mode about of your whole being? That's the word now, going through, So I will read. There you see what you can do. No. Now here, when you comes here, the blind are leading the blind. Okay. See, I can be very expressive in many ways, but when you come to this, it becomes blind. Therefore, how Dharma is so precious. We have reason to be confident, not out of looking somebody look down, not out of arrogance, but how it abides. We have our sharpness of mind to, to dig that information, to see that wisdom and follow. There comes the fearlessness. Isn't it? In that, there's nothing to fear, because that is the reality nature. That's where we are. There's nothing to hide. Okay. Within these 5 parts, how many bhumis are there that we have studied 5 parts last time? Now here summary of the bhumis or the levels or the ground. Beginner, there's a called beginner bhumi, and devoted action, and then the 10 bodhisattvas bhumi from 1st to 10, and the state of Buddhahood. These 10 and 3. 10 and 3, how much? 12. I can't believe you said this. It makes 13, isn't it? Comprise the bhumis. All these bhumis are referred to in the lamp for the path to enlightenment, which Atisha composed that book. One attains great joy and others. The great joy is the first bhumi. It's called, no? So the great joy is the first bodhisattva's bhumi, and others refer to the two lower one, and the 10 higher bhumis, and then Buddhahood. So that makes the 13. Okay, and the beginner, here's a beginner bhumi is the path of accumulation that we have started, the path of accumulation. There are three different stages of the path of accumulation. Path of accumulation, because it matures one's previously immature mind. Means when we are not in the path, as a samsaric being, our mind is unruly, completely occupied by the delusions. Now we start this kind of meditation, practice, train your mind step by step. So then mind start now doing meditation. Relax your mind. Fully renounce from samsara. Organize your mind. Establish the one-pointed mind. It's called the matured mind. The matures one's previously immature mind. The bhumi of, so that's the part of accumulation. The bhumi of devoted activity is the path of application, because one is strongly devoted to the meaning of emptiness. Not just intellectual understanding, as mentioned through the meditation. You get a sense of emptiness. You may not have directly perceived, realized emptiness, but some flavors is coming, and you're so in tune with that. It's called very devoted, has a strong aspiration to realize that. That's what it's called. Application, because one is analysis of the meaning of the emptiness. During this time, factors that oppose factors, during that time, the factors that oppose the parameters such as miserliness and so forth, the afflicting emotions which are to be abandoned on the part of insight, and the imputed obscurations of knowledge are suppressed and so do not arise. So during these two parts, especially very devoted action state, all the obvious mental afflictive emotions are reduced, suppressed, because the remedy is powerful. Your meditation is powerful. The gross afflicting emotions now has no space to manifest, because of your, first of all, your great compassion, your meditative equipoise, some flavor of the experiencing of the emptiness. See, that's called part of application, or it's called devoted action, bhumi. These both are ordinary for the unenlightened experience. The 10 Bodhisattva bhumis arranged from the bhumi of great joy to the 10th cloud of Dharma. So from great joy to the 10th, so the cloud of Dharma, there are 10 different stages. The 10 noble bhumi sutra says, the Arya Dasha Bhumi Sutra, in Sanskrit it's called Arya Dasha Bhumi Sutra. In that text, Buddha says, all son of the victorious one, means all the Bodhisattvas. Buddha's calling now. When one achieves the first bhumi, it becomes the real Bodhisattva now. So that's why Buddha's calling all the Bodhisattva. Sometimes people don't like to use sons, they like to use a child. Or a child of the Buddha's victorious one. But I think it doesn't matter, You can call a daughter of the daughter of the victorious one. You can't either way. It's just label, just name. These 10 are the Bodhisattva Bhumis, great joy, and so forth. And so forth, you see. And now, listen. The first great joy is attained at the time of the path of insight, special insight, the third path, when one directly realizes the meaning of the all-pervading emptiness. All-pervading emptiness, what means not a primitive type of emptiness. Say, emptiness of one side, or something like you are in your mind, you have some kind of duality. When you say emptiness, you receive something, nothing. And then when there's something thing, it's not empty. So that kind of perception of emptiness called primitive emptiness. So here, all-pervading emptiness, every that things exists inseparable of emptiness. To realizing that directly, it's called special insight, the third path. No, and then say emptiness. The second to 10th occurs during the path of meditation. So second bhumi to the 10th, those belong to path of meditation. So the path of special insight is the third path. And are ways of familiarizing oneself. See, from the second to the 10th is the way how to familiarize that what you have seen, what you have realized, then you have familiarized, get used to it. Repeatedly, that's called the traverse, the traverse step by step. With the suchness as it is, that was realized in the first bhumi. These Bodhisattva bhumis should be understood in general, from 1st to the 10th or 11th, general, and in the particular. First, the general. The general explanation has 3 topics. The definition of the bhumis, and the significance of the bhumi, and the reason their classification is tenfold. First definition. The definition of the bhumi is wisdom awareness. See, a wisdom awareness supported by the absorption, you see. As I mentioned, absorption is equipoise, samadhi. They have to be now synchronized, cannot be separated. So that's what's called definition of the bhumi, by which the continuous mental stream of the practitioner directly realize the selflessness of all phenomena. There's nothing exists. It's not because you believe, but it's because you have realized now here. You saw it directly. There's nothing except it exists. And it kind of now disentangled our attachment, open our heart. So then you achieve the freedom. So that's if you ask what the definition of the bhumi, so this is the definition of the bhumi. If the question asks, please write down the definition of the bhumis. Now you know what this is. Okay. Don't confuse, okay? Now, significance of the bhumis. Nisik is in Tibetan thing. They are called bhumis. These 10, those are called bhumis because each is a foundation for its respective good qualities. Here is mentioned, bhumi means label. Label, not just label of the name, but kind of ground. Here, ground step by step. That's what is the ground? That within that bhumi, within that ground, the Bodhisattva maintains all the excellent qualities. Means within the state of the mind of the inseparable of the wisdom, awareness, and equipoise, it becomes the ground to maintain all the excellent qualities of the Bodhisattva. Make sense? It's very important, this, and see, within them and contain within them and the qualities are enjoyed there, you see. So bhumis are said to be like a carol for cattle, where all the cattle are kept. Place this example. Because why it's called bhumis, ground? Because premodal wisdom awareness advances within that state. Now, from first to second, second to third advances. There, bhumis are said to be like a race track. When the horse races, need a ground to run, race the horse. Like that, from first bhumi to the 10th bhumi, is kind of racing your wisdom awareness, advancing. That's what's called. It's called bhumi, or ground, because premodal wisdom awareness is the basis for the birth of all the good qualities. Bhumis are said to be like a field, the farmer's field, farmer's farm. The farmer can farm all the crops, fruits, vegetables in the farm, in the field. So that's the wisdom awareness. You meditate, you observe, then all the qualities manifest. How? Because you purify all the adventitious defilements, and your innate qualities become clear and clear. That's what's called bhumi. Now you understood the definition of bhumi and the significance of bhumi. See? And the third, it says the reason the reason their classification is tenfold. Why are there 10 bhumis? Because there's 10 qualities described. See, the reason their classification is tenfold. They are classified into 10 due to the different training required for each. In the particular explanation, now this is finished, general. Now second, the particular one. This is the second. In the particular explanation, there are 9 topics of each bhumis. Now we'll explain through these 9 topics. With each bhumi, see, this shows, you see, how great Gampopa was, first of all. No, he just put together this all. Before him, of course, there are books with the taught. So many books, hundreds and hundreds of books. But Gampopa, he went through those process training. Not only previous enlightened, but in that very lifetime, he attained Buddhahood. So now he put this all step by step, you see. So you appreciate how precious this text is. See, now each has its distinctive name. Each bhumi has its own distinctive name, its distinctive significance, its distinctive training, its distinctive practices, its distinctive purification, its distinctive realization, its distinctive abandonment, its distinctive birth, and its distinctive ability. Okay. Now we go through this. First, the A, bhumi. The first one is called, distinctive name called great joy, as I mentioned before. It's called, the first bhumi is called, or first ground is called the great joy. Why is it called great joy here, the distinctive significance? This bhumi is called great joy because those who means a great Bodhisattvas who achieve it through meditation, experience that. It experience great joy. Why? They have great joy. Why? Because coming closer to enlightenment. Now they are very closer to enlightenment. They crossed the samsara. Now they are making journey towards the enlightenment, Buddhahood. That's why they are so happy. The joy is there. That's one. No. And the second one, benefiting sentient beings. Now they have a greater ability to benefit sentient beings. They have great skill, wisdom, compassion. So I have cultivated bodhicitta. I have practiced bodhicitta to benefit sentient beings. Now I have this great ability to benefit. So I am so happy. See? That's why you see, our joy should come through the practice of Dharma. No? Meditate on this. Enjoy it. The ornament of Mahayana Sutra says, being close to enlightenment and seeing the benefit for all sentient beings, one achieves great joy. Therefore, it is called great joy. See? Now, third, distinctive training. One masters this bhumi by training in the 10 subjects, such as pure motivation toward all sentient beings and so forth. The ornament of clear realization. Now, just to give you the some idea. From the second bhumi, the name you see the ornament of Mahayana Sutra, and here you see the ornament of clear realization. This will not mention the names. Just it will say said. So you understand each from these source, the source of these quotations. Okay. So that's one attains the first bhumi by fully training in the 10 subjects and so forth. So you please find out at the note, chapter 19. Look at chapter 19. Page 448. See. The note 1, you see. The pure motivation free from all deceitful thoughts towards all sentient beings, purely practicing for the benefit of self and others, an attitude of equanimity toward all sentient beings, fully giving all belongings, one's possessions, always properly attending spiritual masters, seeking the goal of the holy Dharma of the 3 vehicles, Hinayana Mayana, Hinayana, no say Sharavaka, Patik Buddha, Bodhisattvayana. Always disliking or renouncing the household life, always wishing to attain the Dharmakaya of Buddha, the ultimate achievement, always teaching the noble Dharma, protecting others from all fears by speaking the truth. See, so by practicing this, in the first bhumi, the Bodhisattvas are so much focused on this training, mind training. See, so now rest. We may not have time to read all, but just you see, very easy. Those are listed from the clear, the ornament of the clear realizations. Now the fourth distinctive practice, Bodhisattvas who abide at this bhumi, means first bhumi, generally practice all of the 10 paramitas, 10 perfections, but with a particular emphasis on the perfection of generosity. They wish to satisfy all sentient beings, by giving possessions, giving fearlessness, giving wisdom, so forth. Wants to satisfy. Okay. Thus, the 10 noble bhumi sutra says, of the 10 paramitas, the Bodhisattvas in the first bhumi, they mostly practice generosity at the first bhumi because it is easier to practice. But that is not to say that they do not practice the rest. They do practice all, but focus is generosity. Now, distinctive purification. The 10 noble bhumi sutra says. Now here's a long quotation here, and in the other bhumis may not bring all these quotations, so we also pay attention here well. Those who, means Bodhisattvas in the first bhumi, those who are the great joys in bhumi have great sight, means great wisdom, clear awareness. Through the power of the strong determination, they can see many Buddhas because they purify the gross obscurations, so they can see the Buddha. Many hundreds of Buddhas, many thousands of Buddhas. Likewise, they can see many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. Seeing them, this Buddha, with great altruistic thought, out of great bodhicitta, they make offerings and venerate them, these Buddhas. Likewise, they respect and give service to all sentient beings. This root of virtue is dedicated toward enlightenment. So now please keep this very clear. Next he will say, by these 3 virtues. What are those 3 virtues? He has mentioned. They respect and give service to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. They make a service and they hold the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha in their heart. So there's respect and give service to all the Sangha, Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas. This root of virtue is dedicated toward enlightenment. 2, they receive teachings from these Buddhas and contemplate the teachings, hold the teachings, persistently practice the teachings, and also then mature sentient beings through the 4 methods. There's 4 methods. Speaking eloquently pleases the practitioners, giving necessities and giving proper Dharma teachings, and one maintains what is talking about. Now, you talk very eloquently, but if you don't practice yourself, you cannot benefit others. You live with the teaching. Then people, the practitioners, will trust individuals. So we as a practitioner have to be very sincere, to follow the path. Okay. Thus, for many kalpas, they venerate and follow the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. So they matured sentient beings and dedicate the virtue to unsurpassed enlightenment. Through these three causes, the root virtue of these bodhisattvas become very pure. Thus it is said. I think this is all part of the quotation. Thus it is said. So now you know the three. Understand the three? See, becomes taking refuge in Buddha, Dharma, Sangha becomes service, and then maturing sentient beings through 4 methods, and dedicating all the virtue towards the enlightenment. The 3. For example, so this second part is also part of the quotation. This all are part of the quotation. So it is said means again it's continuation. For example, so when a craftsman heats gold, it becomes increasingly pure, and clarified gold and workable. Likewise, the root virtue of the Bodhisattvas at first bhumi becomes increasingly pure and clarified and workable. So this all as mentioned part of the quotation. So now you understood the 3 virtues. So please get a very clear picture on this. Then all the rest will follow from here. So then you know what are the 3, what is about those. Okay. Distinctive realizations. Generally, Bodhisattvas at the 10 bhumis have the same realization well in the meditative observation. Means in the equipoise, which is the mind which is completely pervaded in the dimension of the emptiness. So from the first bhumi to the 10 bhumi of Buddhahood, no difference. Same nature. No? Say meditative observations. Same realization well in the meditative observations. If explains individually, now there are individual names that because due to the post-meditation. Difference occur during in the post-meditative state. At the first bhumi, one realizes the meaning of entering into the all-pervading Dharma Dhatu. One is entering into the all-pervading emptiness. Through that, one achieves the sameness of the oneself and other, equalizing oneself and other, same, no difference. Because one is discarded the self. The grasping self is purified. Thus, the discrimination of middle way and the extreme. This is the quotation. The discrimination of middle way and extreme. So it's called. Yes, it's the name of the text by Maitreya. This discrimination of the middle way and the extreme mentions the meaning of pervading is everywhere, means all pervading. Now 7, distinctive abandonment, all at this bhumi, first bhumi, regarding the obscurations of afflicting emotions, all of the, not 82, this should be 80, 100 and, this is original in Tibetan text we have that. Actually, it is 112. Yeah. So afflicting emotions, all of the 112 afflicting emotions that are subject to be purified in the path of insight are those subject to purified are purified, abandoned, without remainder. There's afflicting emotions. This is related to the Sibetsawa Taketu. It's a Tibetan. You know that? The 6 root cause of samsara concerning to the afflicting emotions. The pernicious desire attachment, anger or hatred, doesn't matter, and pride, ignorance, and doubt, and distorted view. So those are the 6 afflicting emotions which becomes the principal obstacle to cross the border of samsara, to reach other side of the enlightenment. No? And then the view is divided into 5. So there are 10 all total. So those 10 are related to the 4 noble truths. So each truth now related to all the 10 in the desire wall, it becomes the 40. The form and formless wall don't have the anger, because anger is very gross mind, so they are so meditative state. So in that, the anger is not exist. So therefore, the form and formless wall has 36 each. 236 becomes what? 72. 72 plus 40, how many? Oh, that's what is this, okay? that Bodhisattva was from meditation, from application path to when you achieve the special insight path, the first bhumi, during that meditation practice, these all delusions are discarded by this special insight. So that Bodhisattva achieve that state, the first bhumi. Later, when you practice, then you can do that, Okay? That's your goal. Okay? See? Okay. So without remainder. Regarding the 3 types of imputed obscurations, means subtle obscurations, to knowledge, to achieve enlightenment, complete Buddhahood. All there are 3, you see, all there are like the bark of a tree are removed, and rest is still here to purify it from the 2nd to the 10th, At this time, the Bodhisattva is free from the 5 fears, see. The 10 Noble Bhumi Sutra says, look at these 5 fears. As soon as one attains these great bhumis, these great joy bhumis, one's free of the fear of not being, not making a living. We worry so much about our living. What if I have no food? What if I have no shelter, so forth. But Bodhisattvas who achieve this state, they have no fear. For example, look at the Milarepa's life. No, he has no even single fear. See? It doesn't mean that he doesn't need food. He needs food. He needs clothes, shelter, but he has no fear. It's marvelous, you see, free from that kind of fear. And the fear of not getting praise was so obsessed somebody praised to you. So they were so afraid they will not praise me. So it doesn't, Bodhisattva doesn't matter. Praise, not praise. Fearless. No? See? And the fear of death. We have so much fear of the death. That comes rush right through. So all those securities. We have those all the health insurance, so forth, because of the fear of the death. Yes.
Should it be called death insurance rather than life insurance?
Oh.
It should probably be called death insurance rather than life insurance.
Yes, this is the death insurance and life insurance, no? About those things.
Most people get the benefits after.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. So we are so attached to those things, you see. But this is the way how to get the insurance. No? See, death and fear of birth in a lower realms. We have so much, those who believe next life, then they have a lot of fear of, to be born in the lower realms. And those who don't believe next life, then, because they don't have belief, to be reborn, So there's nothing to fear. This is so ignorant, So Bodhisattvas, doesn't matter. No fear. This doesn't mean Bodhisattva will not born in the lower realms. But what it means, Bodhisattva has no fear, a birth in the lower realm. So these are 5 fearlessnesses that the first Bhumi Buddhas achieved. And the strife is a fright in the large gatherings. When the big, large gatherings, you stand up there and give a speech, then you are shaking, So Buddhist does not any fear. There's some concern. If I say this, what other people think, what they will think. Maybe I'm speaking right or wrong, That kind of lot of mental speculations there. But Bodhisattvas, they say things what is needed. If they like, don't like, just no fear. So this is all. Then 8, distinctive birth. A Bodhisattva who abides at this bhumi will usually become a monarch over Jambudeva and will dispel the obscurations of miserliness and all sentient beings. The precious jewel, Galen said this by Nagarjuna. Through this spiritual maturity, he or she will become the monarch over Jambudeva. The distinctive birth is talked here as a very general way. For others' benefits, Bodhisattvas can manifest in different ways according to the needs of trainees, means a practitioner, sentient beings. Here, this case, trainee means sentient beings. As in the Buddha's life stories, sometimes Bodhisattvas can born as like a rabbit, can born in a different types of animals or individual people like that. The 9 distinctive abilities, the 10 noble Bhumi Sutra says, a Bodhisattva who abide at the bhumi of great joy makes great exertions for his aspiration. Means once Bodhisattva achieve this state, then make every effort to achieve enlightenment, purifying all the rest of creations, And if he is, that Bodhisattva is renounced, then in one, renounce means become, one ordains, achieve the ordination. One attains the ordination. And then and for many years you meditate. Stabilize your meditation more, familiarize more. So then that Bodhisattva, in one moment, he can enter into 100 different types of absorption. One. And can see 100 Buddha. Two. And be perfectly aware of their blessings. He can move 100 world system. 3. Proceed to 100 different Buddha fields. 4. Manifest 100 different world. How many? 5. And mature 100 different sentient beings. 6. He can abide for 100 kalpas. 7, isn't it? Can see the 100 various kalpas and the future 100 kalpas. 8. He can open 100 doors of Dharma teachings. 9. And manifest 100 manifestation bodies, each with its entourage of 100 Bodhisattvas. These are 10. So they should have 12. They should have 12. We should have count 12. 10, this 11. He can open 100 doors of Dharma teachings. This 10. Then manifest 100 manifestation bodies. 11. Each with an entourage of 100 Bodhisattvas. So 12. They should have 12. Okay? So you should count 12. So that Bodhisattva achieves this kind of ability to show. 100, there's what's called the 111. 11, what do you call this? This 12, yes, oh, sorry, 12. Yes, the 12, 100 each. What do you call that? This 12, it's the 12 topics, isn't it? And 100 each. What do you call that? 1200. It's a 1200. Now, this multiplies next, so you get good understanding on this. Once you get a good understanding on this, then next, second, third, fourth, it will become easy. Okay? Okay. Then it's very easy to achieve enlightenment. So that's the first bhumi. Now we have studied that first bhumi is very important because it's the first ground which establishes all the rest. No? The second bhumi is called distinctive name stainless. Distinctive significance, this bhumi is called stainless because one who abides at that bhumi is free from the stain of immorality. So the morality is kept so pure. No, see, look at this, see. You say this Bodhisattva, that Bodhisattva. Of course, we cannot judge anybody. But look at this, from this text. Who keeps the morality? Who doesn't? Thus, base of being free from the stain of immorality, this bhumi is called stainless. You know this, the ornament of Mahayana Sutra. Distinctive training, one masters this bhumi through the 8th training in moral ethics, gratitude, and so forth. It is said the ornament of clear realization, moral ethics, gratitude, patience, rejoicing, compassion, and so forth. Yes, you can read, no? And distinctive practice, Bodhisattvas who abides this bhumi generally practice all of the 10 bhumis, 10 paramitas, but with a particular emphasis on the profession of moral ethics. Distinctive purification, as mentioned earlier, the root virtue of a Bodhisattva is profoundly purified by the 3 causes. You understood that? Now, as I mentioned before, from the Noble 10 Bhumi Sutra. Thus it is said, for example, gold cleaned in an asset, both becomes even more, gold clean in an asset bath, when it's clean in that asset, the gold becomes even more purified. Likewise, the root virtue of a Bodhisattva at the second bhumi becomes even more pure, clarified, and workable. So now, distinctive realization at this bhumi, Bodhisattva realize the meaning of the supreme Dharma Dhatu and think or meditate, I must make a great effort to purify and accomplish everything. Thus it mentions that meaning of the supreme is from the all-pervading Dharma Dhatu and to extreme. The extreme from that text by Maitreya mentioned this. The meaning of supreme, that means I must make a great effort to purify and accomplish everything. This has that strong motivation to realize the nature of all phenomena. 7. The distinctive abandonment regarding the obscurations of afflictive emotions for the second bhumi to the 10th. For emotion for the second bhumi to the 10th of the 16 afflicting emotions that are subject to be abandoned on the path of meditation. As I mentioned, there are 6 root causes of samsara, the mental afflictive emotions. From this, at the first bhumi, the doubt or the hesitation is completely purified. And ignorant, the root ignorance is purified, but still there's leftover ignorance there. But the attachment and the pride and anger and attachment to the view, distorted view to the self, the grasping at the 5 aggregates, that still the remaining is there. So there are 6 and extreme views. So these 6 in the desire wall and the form and the formless wall, there is no anger or hatred. So 5 each. So 5 each, the 2, 5 makes the 10, and including the 6 becomes 16. So that now all purified step by step from second bhumi to the 10th. Okay, so we'll not mention next. Abandonment of the meditation. All these obscurations are obvious. All their obvious appearances are suppressed, leaving their seed unabandoned. Means become thinner and thinner, the layer, More obvious are purified step by step from the first to the 10th bhumi. regarding the imputed obscurations to knowledge, those that are like cream are removed. For the this is what's called imputed obscuration, means that which prevents to achieve complete Buddhahood. So that now the cream-like is removed, but still there are more to purify. See? And the eighth distinctive birth, a Bodhisattva who abides at this bhumi will usually become a monarch over the 4 continents and will establish all sentient beings and the 10 virtues by dispelling the 10 non-virtues. That Bodhisattva will put a lot of emphasis how to keep the 10 virtues by avoiding the 10 non-virtues. As it is said, through this spiritual maturity, he will become a monarch possessing the 7 glorious precious items in order to benefit others. The 7 glorious, articles. You know that 7 royal articles? Precious minister, precious general, precious queen, precious elephant, precious horse, precious general, and precious wheel. These are the 7 precious articles of the universal monarch. With that, then we rule the whole 4 continents and introduce the 10 virtues people to practice. Distinctive abilities. In one moment, one will attain 1,000 observation and so forth. The 12,000 here. Okay. Now, third bhumi. Distinctive name, radiant. Distinctive significance. This bhumi, the third bhumi, is called radiant because at this bhumi, the great Bodhisattva, the appearance of Dharma and observations are clear, Your observation, meditative equipoise becomes stronger. Because of that, the wisdom becomes clear. See? It's called, appearance of Dharma and the observations are clear. And the light of the Dharma radiates for others, has greater skill to explain the Dharma to others. Thus it is said, because the great light of the Dharma radiates, it is called the radiant. Distinctive training, that Bodhisattva, one masters the bhumi, the ground, by training in the 5 topics such as insatiable hearing and so forth. It is said, insatiably hearing the Dharma. No matter how much you receive Dharma, you never satisfy. Just keep receiving Dharma. And they risk their life to receive Dharma teachings. Just for one instant, a great Bodhisattva, he born as a king. Then he asked his minister if there are any great teacher exist in the world. And the one minister informed, yes, in the forest there's a great teacher in the cave. So the king went with precious jewel kind of ornament, like a precious rock, made from precious rock, a mala. As an offering, he took that and went to that great teacher, and he made this offering. And then he asked, the king asked, can you give me some teachings? And the teacher thought, this is so precious. It's priceless. Now this is a king. if I give teaching before, then after giving the teaching, he will take away the offering, because he's a king, So he's afraid. So he thought, I should get rid of this. So I said, can you jump from this cliff to down in there? No, that means he will die, So the king said, yes, I would, but first I need the teaching. So if I die before I receive teaching, then what should I do, So first, please give me the teaching. And then the Bodhisattva, the great teacher, he gave the teaching. The teaching is about 10 virtues, how to avoid 10 non-virtues. The king was fully satisfied. He was, this is so precious. I'm completely relaxed. No, I don't need anything. So because he promised that he will jump, so he jumped from the cliff, But somehow there was no karma, he to die, So he was survived. So that kind of story there, So like that, there are a lot of the stories how Buddha sacrificed before became Buddha, receiving teachings. So that's what it's talking about. So because Dharma, this is insatiable, yes, insatiably hearing Dharma and teaching Dharma without concentration, material gain. So then he gives teaching without any concentration. Other will respect or not respect, make offering or not. As soon as when the people hear Dharma, they're so happy. Because you develop bodhicitta. You develop bodhicitta to attain Buddhahood, to benefit sentient beings. That's what you did, So, say material gain and so forth. Then all rest you can see next. Distinctive practice, Bodhisattva who abides at this bhumi and generally practices all of the 10 parameters, but with particular emphasis on the perfection of patience, forbearance, achieving fearlessness. Distinctive purification, as mentioned earlier, the root virtue of the Bodhisattva is profoundly purified by the 3 causes. Thus it is said, for example, a craftsman polishes gold in his hand and without losing any of the gold's weight, purify all its strength. The goldsmith does that. Likewise, the root virtue of Bodhisattvas who abides at this 3rd bhumi does not decline, but becomes ever more pure, clarified and workable. Distinctive realization. At this bhumi, Bodhisattvas realize the supreme meaning of the Dharma as related to the cause of the Dharma Dhatu. Understanding more wisdom how to capture the meaning of the Dharma Dhatu. Clear wisdom on that. To receive even one verse, of Dharma teachings, these Bodhisattvas would sacrifice themselves. As mentioned, by jumping into 3,000 universal fires. Thus it mentions the meaning of the supreme related to cause. Now the distinctive abandonment. This is mentioned now. This I already mentioned before, same thing, look at the, note 9. Distinctive birth, the 8. The Bodhisattvas who abides at the bhumi will usually become Indra, the king of the Indra, the king of gods, and will have great skill to dispel the desires of sentient beings in the desire wall, how to purify the attachment to the five sensory objects. Thus it is said, the great skill of King of Gods who dispels desires. The distinctive ability in one moment one will attain 100,000 absorption, so forth. So there are 1,200,000. 1,200,000. Now, fourth bhumi, not mention the name of this. It's called fourth bhumi, called distinctive name, luminous, radiant, luminous. The distinctive significance, what is called luminous, the bhumi or the ground. This ground is called, Bodhisattva who is on this ground called luminous, because the two veils are burned by the luminous light of primordial wisdom of all the branches of the enlightenment. They say that because the two veils means obscuration, the afflictive emotion and the subtle obscurations. Those two veils are now become so thin, the thinner. Thus it is said, like a radiant light that fully burns, which opposes enlightenment, and that's the quality of this bhumi. Therefore it's called the luminous, by which the two obscurations are burned. The obscurations to the enlightenment, and the gross obscurations are burned. Distinctive training, one masters this bhumi through the 10 trainings such as abiding in the solitary place and so forth. It is said, abiding in a forest, in the forest means in the monastery, according to the JOL ornament of liberation. This forest is the monastery. Having few desires, very little desire for the possessions, contented, fully contented whatever that has, purely maintaining discipline and so forth. And the fourth distinctive practice, a Bodhisattva who abides at this bhumi generally practices all of the 10 paramitas, perfection, but with a particular emphasis on the profession of perseverance. Perseverance is so important. Enjoy the Dharma. All the time, meditation, practice. Never separated from that. And distinctive purification, as mentioned earlier, the root virtue of the Bodhisattva is profoundly purified by the 3 causes. Be service to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and benefiting sentient beings through the 4 methods, and dedicating all the virtues. So there's 3 causes. So for example, when a skilled goldsmith makes pure gold into an ornament, so that ornament made from the gold, it cannot be matched by all other gold which has not been made into an ornament. Likewise, the root virtue of the Bodhisattvas who attend this 4th bhumi cannot be matched by the virtue of the Bodhisattvas who are at lower bhumis. All the ordinary sentient beings, those who are in the path of accumulation, those who are in the path of preparation, first, second, third bhumi cannot match to the virtue of this Bodhisattva. distinctive realization. At this bhumi, Bodhisattva realized the meaning of the completely non-grasping. So now, in a post-meditation, realizing the non-grasping, and are free from attachment to Dharma. Even you have to free from the attachment to Dharma. That doesn't mean you don't start to practice Dharma. You start to practice Dharma without any satisfaction, yet free from the attachment. Thus it mentioned the meaning of the completely non-grasping. Distinctive birth, the Bodhisattvas who abide at this bhumi will usually become the king of the Suyama, now higher realm, and will have great skill in demolishing the view of the transitory aggregates in all sentient beings. Means our attachment, the view that we have a self relation to these five psychophysic aggregates, that the view of that attachment, that the Bodhisattvas on this level has great skill to destroy or to get rid of, to purify. Thus it is said, becomes the king of Suyama and has great skill in fully destroying the view of the transitory aggregates. Distinctive ability, in a moment one will attain the 1 million absorption and so forth. So there are 12 millions will achieve by this Bodhisattvas, that kind of ability. Yes. Fifth bhumi, distinctive name, is called very difficult to train. That's the name of this, Jankao in Tibetan is called. Distinctive significance, this bhumi is called very difficult to train because Bodhisattvas who attain this bhumi strive to mature sentient beings. So it's very difficult to help sentient beings, but without any discourage. Out of indomitable courage, that Bodhisattvas will train the sentient beings. And do not become emotionally involved when they respond negatively. No. And also difficult to handle your own afflicting emotions. Usually, but Bodhisattvas in this bhumi, that easily be trained, easily be handled. So these two difficult things can handle by this Bodhisattva very productively. So that's what it's called, both of which are difficult to do, that Bodhisattvas now could do. Thus it is said, establishing the benefit of sentient beings and protecting his own mind, these are difficult for a wise one to do. Therefore, it is called very difficult to train. In other words, the Maras try to take over. The mental Maras. But this Bodhisattva, doesn't allow the Mara to take over. That's called difficult to train. Third, distinctive training. One masters this bhumi by avoiding the 10 faults, such as becoming attached to the house for the sake of wealth and so forth. Thus it is said, associating, becoming attached to the house, abiding in an agitated place, and so forth. By training these, that Bodhisattvas then develops the ability No? Okay. Fourth distinctive practice, a Bodhisattva who abides at this bhumi generally practices all of the 10 parameters, but with a particular emphasis on the perfection of meditative concentration, meditative equipoise. Distinctive purification, as mentioned earlier, the root virtue of a Bodhisattva is profoundly purified by the 3 causes. Thus it is said, for example, when a skilled goldsmith adorns pure gold with a precious jewel, it is unmatched by the other gold, which are not, which has no ornaments, like other jewels. Likewise, the root virtue of Bodhisattva who attend this 5th bhumi is fully purified by the examination of the method and wisdom awareness. So it cannot be matched by the root virtue of Bodhisattvas who are at the lower bhumis. And 6th distinctive realization, at this bhumi, Bodhisattva realized the meaning of the continuum of the undifferentiated nature. Now the meditation becomes so powerful. Even in the post-meditation, the mind is not wavering, which has tune in the meditative equipoise. You see, it's called continuum of the undifferentiated nature, and understand the 10 economities. Thus it mentions the undifferentiation of all continue. Distinctive birth, the Bodhisattvas who abides at this bhumi will usually be reborn as a king of the Tushita, the gods, Tushita gods, and will have great skill in dispelling the wrong view of non-Buddhists. Thus it is said, through this spiritual maturity, he becomes the king of Tushita realm and dispels the afflicting views of the non-Buddhists. Distinctive ability. In a moment, one will attain the 10 million observations and so forth. So 10 million abilities will achieve by this Bodhisattva. So make a short break. Okay.